What up, y'all? You know who it is. Your boy JD Kiss, you know what I mean? Right now with Christian. Shout out to Camden, New Jersey, all my niggas out there. Let's get right into it. Yeah!
BTBTV. Christian, man. Yo, boy, let's get him, man. Yeah, right, never off plan. Used to get busy with them guns in my hand. 4 or 5 or a black 9 with a grand in my pocket and beef cool as a fan. BTBTV, we are not playing. Y'all just talk, we back it up and down. Sideways, F what y'all saying. We Kyrie and Kanye. This a boss talk, so you clowns should just fly away. Yeah, hop on the bridge, throw your frame off the highway. This not a game, this is business, this my way. Real talk, your opinion is nothing to us. We gon' stay on chill, long as y'all don't violate. But it's not fair. We could be cool or your worst nightmare. We the best, I swear. And you could be my friend or enemy, I don't care. And you better beware. Cause we coming for the whole pie and we don't share. No, it just ain't fair. But we the best, I swear. We the best, I stay up in the mix. A project politics, my mood kinda sick. Name well known from the hood to the sticks. 100 on the highway, flying so fast, burn the gears when I shift. Some people kick dirt on your name, what shoes you gave them. Broke your back for them and they got the nerve to play you. Kick rap's door off, pushed and shoved my way through. Bum rushed the kitchen, put my floor up on the menu. The jealousy be hitting up in jokes. That's why I stay serious like David Banner turned in the Hulk in pure form like the Pope. Haters get infrared beams with the scope, so run and get ghosts. We fight good, boxed in like Floyd on the roast. I'm the great black hope. Man, we the team and they know it coast to coast and it just ain't fair. We could be cool or your worst nightmare. We the best, I swear. And you can be my friend or enemy, I don't care. And you better beware. Cause we coming for the whole pie and we don't share. No, it just ain't fair. We the best. If you with us, put your lighters in the air. No, it just ain't fair. BTBTV. Just ain't fair, man. Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
What the fuck is the matter with this nigga, man?
I don't know what's wrong with that nigga.
Hold on 1 second, yo. We about to get it popping. I'm just trying to set some things up real quick. But we here, yo. We here.
I'm with you.
Let me see. There we go, right here. Yeah, y'all, let's go.
Yo, Born. Show them how we do this, man. BTBTV. We bully the bullies. No run, no retreat. Yeah. BTBTV. One more time for y'all in the back. Y'all slow ninjas. Right. Yo, John Gotti flow, rap Pablo, Escobar status, rap game Corleone. I can show you how you lay back and watch your pockets grow. Stay away from devious women, end up like Papa Smoke. Y'all wake up every day twitching like yo, I gotta post. I wake up every day mission, it's $1 million notes, dominoes, bodies drop, rot stink like hollow toast. Broadway, man, if you know, then you know. I came for everything they said I couldn't have, got that and then some, and then some. My ones on overload, say y'all overdose. Your rappers in the tight squeeze and that clutch like Cobra rope, the okie dope. We don't go for that. All she wrote, another tale from the street, death and horror flow. The projects like a ghost try and haunt your soul. Another tale from the street, homicide the folks who wanna play till them guns scream adios. Another tale from the street, black mafia. So Don Corleone mixed with Al Capone. Another tale from the street, like an opera show. These kids be acting to their life movie curtain closed. Nowadays your foes will plot you wearing Malcolm X hats, 666s, the devil on his shoulder won the death match. Reminiscing when more street ninjas was off the hook, chasing D's up off the block, trying to run and get the force, blood on pavement. He's 12 years old and he tough to play with. He don't go to playgrounds, that's his fiends who want their vein stick. We can't miss, we can hit the target with our hands behind our back, our eyes closed and half brainless. Don't play with us. Another tale from the street, death and horror flow. The projects like a ghost try and haunt your soul. Another tale from the street, homicide the foe who want to play till them guns scream adios. Another tale from the street, black mafia. So Don Corleone mixed with Al Capone. Another tale from the street like an opera show. These kids be acting till they like movie curtain close. Yeah, BTBTV. It's the movement, man. You're born. You're born, let's get 'em. Let's get 'em. Cash, we up in here, man. Hood famous.
Yo. Peace to everybody. It's the King of New Jersey. It's BTBTV. We bully the bullies. I'm your honorable host, born divine almighty Allah. Right now, I got my righteous brother, my righteous big brother, the OG, the old God, Shabu, born Shabu. You know what I'm saying? We in the building. You know what I'm saying? We got the Brooklyn's finest, BK finest in the building with me today. Born Shabu,
No
let them know
doubt.
who be, God. Let
No
them know who
doubt.
be.
This Shabu Biala, originally out of East Medina, Cypress Hill Project, stand up, showing and proving today's mathematics is wisdom. That's yes, sir. And I won the 36. So we gonna build today.
All born of culture freedom.
No doubt, God.
You gotta get your culture so I can be free mentally. The culture is this Islam. The culture is the mind. Let's get this mind right. Let's get this culture right. Let's build an add-on from that. But yo, you haven't been seeing what's going on with my bro Uncle Shay, have you, man?
Nah, you just turned me on this morning.
Let me show you.
Yeah, let's get into it.
Yeah, hold up. What's his nigga name? J the Black. J Black. Here we go right here, yo. Videos. You see? We go right here. Yo, man, this is courtesy of my boy Jay the Black, man. I use this content sometime. Sharpe ain't finished, bro. Got receipts. Uncle Shay got receipts for all the haters.
For your house, no matter what condition it's in. If you need to.
What's going on, guys? Jada Black here. Shout out to everyone that's tuning in. This was not a topic that I was going to speak on because I didn't really know that this story was going viral, I think, for the latter part of the afternoon, as far as Shannon Sharpe being accused of an act or acts by a Jane Doe who's being represented by the ambulance chaser himself, Tony Busby. Y'all know the guy who failed miserably going after Jay-Z. Well, he's back again. I spoke about Tony before. I spoke about him in the Deshaun Watson situation. Every time there's a black man with money, there he goes chasing after them with accusations, with quote unquote victims. Now, I want to say this and I want to make this very clear. I'm not here to defend somebody if they are guilty. We don't know if Shannon is guilty. All we know is there are allegations coming from her side, and she's represented by Tony Busby. And then we have Shannon Sharpe responding. This is why I said that I didn't know whether or not I was going to speak on this, because I didn't know whether or not Shannon Sharpe was going to respond, because he's been accused of a lot of different things. And he did. Shannon went on his socials and he posted everything. He posted everything. Now listen, if y'all want to go see these messages, I can link them in the description. I can link y'all to Shannon Sharpe's Twitter, and y'all can go and check this out for yourself. We're going to go over some highlighted points from the article, but it's very interesting how when this new when this new podcast deal was announced, this article was made on the 18th about Shannon Sharpe eyeing a $100 million plus podcast deal. Now, we haven't seen numbers like this for a podcast in a while, right? Now, people say, well, Shannon Sharpe got 100 million. He got 100 million from ESPN. But Shannon Sharpe he's part of a podcast network that he does his podcasts on. And Shannon Sharpe puts in a lot of work. Let me say this, though. I've had my disagreements with Shannon, but when he left Fox Sports 1, I knew that Shannon Sharpe would be a success. And I was right. He's part-time at ESPN. From what I understand, I don't know. I don't think he's up there every day. If anything has changed, y'all correct me in the comment section. But he's mainly building up his platform, right? Y'all know he has where he interviews people on Club Shay Shay, but he also does his podcast with Ocho, and is very successful. They do big numbers over there. You want to know what the model of a podcast? Look at Shannon Sharpe. Look at Cameron and Mace, right? He's found the podcast formula, and he's very close to inking this deal. I don't know if he signed it yet, but I find it very interesting how this deal gets announced. And here's Tony Busby. I've had my disagreements with Shannon, but I don't like how
Jersey Rich,
all of a sudden this Jane Doe, who he named in his messages, her name is what, Gabriella? Oh, we're going to name names. Gabriella Zuninga. Now, again, he put that out, not me. And all of a sudden, this podcast deal gets announced a few days ago. Now this woman has ran to Tony Busby making accusations. And again, we know Tony Busby is an ambulance chaser, but I would not doubt if Tony Busby hired some private investigator. And again, this is my opinion. I believe Tony Busby hired a private investigator to go look into athletes or ex-athletes who are doing very well for themselves. Have y'all noticed Tony Busby doesn't go after NFL players who may be struggling financially, right? He don't go after them. He go after the ones who have money. He went after Deshaun Watson. He tried to go after Jay-Z, failed, right? And now he's going after Shannon Sharpe because Shannon Sharpe has a history. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat it. He ended up leaving CBS due to some allegations made against him by a woman that he had been dealing with for years. He went to Fox Sports 1. He rebuilt himself up, built a brand for himself. And now he's on the verge of this $100 million podcast deal. Because again, Shannon Sharpe has a great work ethic. He's one of the best podcasters out there. You don't have to like Shannon, but you have to give props where props is due. Who's doing better in the podcaster space? Because podcasting has kind of declined a lot recently. There's not a lot of quality out there. It's a lot of quantity. But he's one of the ones that has found the formula. Him and Ocho. I believe they bring guests on. He's very good at what he does. I give him those props. I think it's messed up that some heifer is making these accusations when it seems like Shannon has receipts where this woman she's on some crazy time. $25,000 per cheek. What are we doing here?
Yo,
look at this. She told him that big juicy assets, $25K for each cheek. We know what type of time she's on. She's on prostitute time. A lot of these women are on prostitute time. Right? Where did you find this one, Tony Busby? Okay. Like, was she out here escorting? Listen, Shannon, you got to find some better women to deal with. Because apparently, according to this woman's had a secretly recorded video. Let's get to this article. Shannon Sharpe's legal team calls lawsuit egregious attempt at blackmail, releases salacious text messages. Mr. Sharpe categorically denies all allegations of coercion or misconduct, especially the gross lie of assault, and will not submit to what he sees as an egregious attempt at blackmail. A day after Shannon Sharpe was served with a 13-page lawsuit by an anonymous plaintiff alleging assault and battery, Sharpe's legal team responded with a statement of its own. The statement posted to Sharpe's account on X and emailed to Awful Announcing via a PR team names the anonymous alleged plaintiff and includes texts containing salacious messages that the woman whom Sharpe's team alleges Gabriella Zuniga, again, it's already out there, purportedly sent to Sharpe between October 2023 and January of 2025. This is very interesting. You know why? Because during that time, he left Fox Sports and went on his own. So it seemed like this woman was pocket watching the whole time. See, Shannon, deal with women who you ain't got a trick off of. Because if she's talking about $25,000 per cheek, there might have been some tricking going on there.
the building.
This lawsuit filed by Gabriella Zuniga and orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby, is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. The statement reads, it is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and it will not succeed. The lawsuit, which Sharpe was served on April 20th, and the details of which leaked through the media on April 21st, accused Sharpe of 2 instances of assault. He also states that Sharpe secretly recorded the plaintiff while she was intimate with him, and that he persistently pursued her after she attempted to break off their relationship. Sharpe's legal team, which Lanny J. Davis leads through his Washington, D.C. based firm, accuses Gabriella of being the one who secretly recorded an encounter. The statement also accuses Gabriella of altering that video, which Gabriella has purportedly not made available to Sharpe and his lawyers in full to blackmail Sharpe. The lawsuit states that the plaintiff is seeking $50 million in damages.
Yo, enough of that BS. Yo, let's get it popping, man. Peace to the gods. We got God Shabu on the line, born Shabu. We got the mind of Jack. We got Jaquem Muhammad on the line. You know what I'm saying? Yo, first of all, we got to get on this what you want to call it? The pale face wonder. Tony Busby, the one that's trying to take that every black man in the industry, the one that trying to take that Hove and is getting sued by Hove. Let's talk about that.
Devilish provocateurs.
What you said? What you said, John?
Those are devilish provocateurs.
Devilish provocateurs.
Yeah. Men that create and advance devilment for the purpose and the benefit and advancement of others. And he's definitely one of those and has been for a long time. You know, he took down someone else. I don't know if we know about it, but he was one of the key factors behind the demonization of R. Kelly. So it's a lot of those agents in our community. And we continue to be silent and allow them to advance their campaigns, bro, with no resistance.
Yeah, but you know what I'm gonna say though? R. Kelly had a lot of evidence against him, but this right here with
Facts.
this Shannon,
Facts.
so it's a difference. With this Shannon Sharpe thing, Shannon Sharpe cut this young girl off because she started getting too weird for him. Hold up. I want you to see what Shannon Sharpe wrote on his Instagram. I want you to see what Shannon Sharpe wrote on his Instagram real quick, man. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this. I can read it. I'm gonna blow it up for y'all. Hold on 1 second. Y'all see it? Let me blow it up. Gabrielle Zuniga in a text message to Shannon Sharpe, October 7th, 2023. I know you missed this big juicy ASS. $25K for each cheek. Gabrielle Zuniga in a text message to Shannon Sharpe, 1/1/25, 9:50 a.m. What year is this? Is this 26 now?
25.
It's 25, right?
1/1/25,
9:50 Pacific time, right? This lawsuit filed by Gabrielle Zuniga, orchestrated by her attorney, Tony Busby, is a blatant and cynical attempt to shake down Mr. Sharpe for millions of dollars. It is filled with lies, distortions, and misrepresentations, and it will not succeed. In our effort to extract a large financial settlement, Ms. Zuniga presented Mr. Sharpe with a secretly recorded video of a consensual sexual encounter. We believe the video has been heavily edited and taken entirely out of context, crafted falsely, portraying the consensual act as non-consensual. Mrs. Nigga has refused to provide a copy of the full, unedited version of the recording to Mr. Sharpe's legal team. To set the record straight, we are releasing several of Mrs. Nigga's own explicit text messages to Mr. Sharpe that clearly indicate the nature of their relationship was consensual and sexual in nature, and in many cases initiated by her with specific and graphic requests. Contrary to the allegations she makes in her lawsuit, consensual sex continued until January 2nd, 2025, the day after she asked for $25,000 per cheek, as quoted above from her text message to Mr. Sharpe. There are other examples of text message, Mr. Nigga. Hold up, let me see. Let's be some more. It should be some more, right? Hold on. Let me see. Hold up. I'm sorry. Let me. There gotta be some more, y'all. There gotta be some more. Hold on 1 second. We'll go back the other way.
You know, that's common culture now, though. That's become the thing. That's a come up.
That's a come up.
Yo, Born, while you find that, right? Let me
Go ahead. All right, hold up. Only if you put the baby gravy in me, then I can do whatever I want to. You can do whatever you want to me. Test Gareth Nigga to Shannon Sharpe, November 23rd, 2023. I want to put my tongue in your a-hole and then marry you. Text from Gabrielle Zuniga to Shannon Sharpe, January 12th, 2024. That's my daddy. F, I want you to put a big black baby in me. Text from Gabrielle Zuniga to Shannon Sharpe, August 6th, 2024. You better crave it because you're going to be stuck with it for life after you put a big black baby in me. Text from Gabrielle Zuniga to Shannon Sharpe, August 11th, 2024. These messages are just a sample of the broader pattern of graphic sexual communications initiated by Ms. Zuniga. The evidence paints a clear picture. This was a consensual adult relationship that included role play, sexual languages, and fantasy scenarios explicitly requested by Ms. Zuniga. The edited tape that Ms. Zuniga secretly taped and showed to Mr. Sharpe during her blackmail tip tries to falsely portray As a result, this edited and out of context from prior text messages that this sexual activity was not consensual, but Mr. Sharpe now believes her secret table was all part of her plan set up as a part of her blackmail scheme, as distorted by her edited tape, a copy of which she refused to make available to Mr. Sharpe or his counsel. All right, y'all. There we go.
All right, God, check this out, right? It says, according to the suit, Doe met Sharpe in 2023 at a gym in Los Angeles when she was 20 years old and he was in his mid-50s. She stated in the dockets during their first encounter, Sharpe told her he would buy her fake tits if she won a weight loss competition with him. She wrote in the suit, Sharpe proceeded to pursue her relentlessly, calling, texting, and demanding she come to his Beverly Hills Glen mansion. The woman stated she and former Denver Broncos tight end ultimately got into a consensual relationship, though she described it as controlling and verbal abuse. He demanded complete control over her time and body, according to Tony Busby, wrote in Doe's suit, expecting her to be at his house on his schedule at his command whenever he called.
Facts.
If I'm financing it, why
can't
I?
Financing, yeah.
If she know her role, she played no other service. She was paid for a service, and she played no other service. She played no other role. So you wasn't a mother, you wasn't a caretaker, you wasn't a caregiver to anything or anyone. You played the role that you signed up for. And as a matter of fact, you know it was a business proposition or arrangement because you're 20, he's 55.
Uh-huh.
See, so you already know what it was. You was just like one of the geisha girls out in Japan, or when you go to Cambodia somewhere, and she need to stop, and we need to stop playing with it, because that's what we need to be telling each other the truth. Like they act like it's something wrong with it, but what's her name? Tracy Ross, Tracy Ellis Ross can get up and say she only mess with young boys. She don't mess with men her age because of the difficulties of dealing with a man that's mature. See, now that's welcomed by the world. Like I said, it's a culture now. It's welcomed by the world. But when she get exposed for trying to steal or take from that man through an act of deception, because that's what that is, now he's wrong and she's right. Double standard, injustice, wickedness.
Hey, what we got to deal with, right, is the state of mind of these athletes. We know that the majority of them go to predominantly white institutions to deal with their athletics. While they're in those institutions, they are surrounded by the majority of Caucasian women. So their mindset is already set that when they get with these individuals, because we all know that those type of women coming from the family backgrounds, they not gonna go into the hood and pick a brother and give him any type of way to get into the economical wealth that they got, but they taught from a very early age in life, if you're gonna mess with a black man, mess with a black man that got money. Look at the draft. Look at a lot of these things that's going on nowadays where the majority of our young black men that get hold of these millions and millions of dollars, who they got on their side. They got a Caucasian woman or they got a foreign woman because they attracted to that and they fall victim to that, even though we know that, you know, our black woman gonna put you through it. But when we dealing with the reality, why should they receive all this money and then turn around and support the same institutions that oppress us because they ain't doing nothing but putting wealth back into their family. And this is where the mindset of the individuals that get to these heights and get a chance to receive this money, what's the first thing that they looking for? They looking for everything that looks other than their grandmother, their mother, their aunt. They want the opposite, not realizing that every time that they deal with them, they jeopardize themselves. Because just like what's going on right now with them, we all know that they ain't there for nothing but the bag. The same process that may go on in the communities. It got to the point, it ain't what you look like anymore. Biggie said it. I could be ugly, however, I stay Gucci down. You know, so this is the thing that we got to put back into these younger brothers' mindset that don't, when you get a chance to receive all this money, go run into them and think that their loyalty to you is out of love or compassion or anything. No, they with you strictly for the come up. And they're gonna do whatever they can do. And we look every time these athletes end up jammed up in a situation is because those same individuals that they allowed to come amongst them and treat them like queens and make sure that they well off and everything just to say, you know, I got one of them on my side. That's that slave mentality. As soon as I get up, I want to go and get me a Caucasian woman, or I want to go get me any woman that looks other than the woman that birthed me into this world.
Yo, the whole Ja. Now Ja, my brother Ja Muhammad, what you gotta say? Hold up, I'm about to put you up on the screen, let you build too. Yo, Ja, you know Shabu, right? Yo, God, Ja, you know who Shabu is though, right?
Sure, that's the guard.
From where?
From up top.
BK all day.
Yeah, that's the guard from up top. I know. I heard the
AJ.
guard build. I heard the guard build before on the chat.
Okay, yeah. All
Sure,
right.
indeed. But I wanted to add to that bill to what the guard was saying.
Go
Just
ahead.
to add
Bill.
on, we come from the guard was just given a build on the systematical environment that we live in, and we don't often pay attention to the conscious reality that we function on systems and within a system. In the human body, we got non-predominant systems, just like we got non-vital major organs, and everything function in cohesion in order to keep life in existence. So slavery never ended. You just changed the makeup on the face that was already presented. And the process of our young black males and young black sisters as well, going through the from the field to the house. The same way we have it with our athletes, we have it in academics. Those that are academically inclined and elite, they're extracted from the black community and they're placed in an environment where nature takes its course. You're allowed to develop your academic promise, but you're also forced to interact with this environment that's not culturally conducive to who you are. And therefore, you become someone else. So when you go to college or when you go to these schools of learning, they remove you from the community in which you came from and they give you a new community, which gives you a new culture. Black people, whether it's the field nigga or the house nigga, have never lost the conditioning that made us other than ourselves. That's why there's a necessity for us to have the knowledge of selves, because we were made other than ourselves and we still functioning in that system of being other than self. So when you're a man, you want to have sex, and you're in college, you 18, 17, 19 years old at the beginning height of your testosterone and your sexual appeal, you're going to have sex or you're going to have an interest into the female that's available for you. And they take their daughters and they make their daughters whores. They make their daughters available for you so that they can keep that money within the same system. If you take the money out of the system, the money is being used to develop someone else's system. And that's what we live within. So when we go to the draft or when we go to these prestigious colleges, whether we come out athletically or academically, we're still quoted and made the slave that they created. So we don't just come out desiring white women. Our mind has never been changed. So we're literally white people in black skin. That's why we do everything white and nothing for black. Peace.
There we
Absolutely,
go.
my brother. Go ahead, Bob.
Yeah, I'm gonna say like this, man. As I've been like looking at all this stuff that's going on, right? And I'm gonna say it's all about the black dollar, old mighty black dollar. Well, Shannon Sharpe met her in the gym that day, and and they had a bet, and he was like, she probably was like, he probably asked, what you want the bet to be? Well, if I beat you in a weight loss contest, I want some new boobs. She a young girl. That's how she said. And Shannon Sharpe probably agreed to it.
I got something to add to that too, God.
What?
We forget the perspective that Shannon Sharpe is a matured man. He's not a young athlete no more.
Yeah.
So when you have successful ventures and you go beyond the plantation and start making your own plantation for self, you become a target of your competitor and your adversaries, because everybody that got success got enemies. It's just the way the world is. It's the system of things. So he easily, which I'm quite sure he believes as well, he was targeted.
Mm-hmm.
She was the dart, bro. She was the bullet in the gun.
Yeah.
She was targeted because you just don't interact with someone like that on that level so easily. And those are the the surrounding circumstances that people really don't take a pill to or notice to. Nah, bro. How did she get in your circle so easily? Because you were targeted, and whether it was her idea or the person that sent her, you was targeted. That's how you dealing with her.
It probably was Tony Bunsby's idea. He was
exactly.
Like, the lawyer.
And you know what he got going, bro? He done figured out the function of our society. You don't have to be guilty. You don't have to be innocent. You don't got to be right. All you have to do is garner the attention of the world for 10 seconds, and it changes your life. See?
Mm-hmm.
So he knows that now. So it don't matter whether it's the truth or not. Only thing it matters is that he get us to speak about it, address it, and pay attention to it. That brings you fame, is now real fortune in this environment, in this system of things.
But he should have learned by messing with Jay-Z that intelligent Negroes with money is more protected with their life.
You can't learn that because they still after Jay-Z. See, and Jay-Z is just a hard fighting to them. He's just one of the niggas that we're gonna have to fight harder or get other niggas to get him. That's how once you get into a fight like a white guy, you get in a fight with a white guy, what are you gonna do? He'll automatically be intellectually, physically inferior. So he's gonna cower at the moment until he can get supportive reinforcement to exercise his demonic mentality. Same thing he's doing with him. They fighting until he get enough help. And when we get enough help, they're gonna come after our brother too, in the worst way.
See, y'all all know, right? A lot of times they try and say, even though just recently on National Geographic, they said about the whole thing about the Yaku theory was right and exact. That the Caucasian man hasn't been on this planet no more than 6,500 years. And see, they'll say we talking racism, but we talking reality. You know what I'm saying? The reality is that he is made to cause confusion amongst us so that we will fight and kill one another. The reality of it is that 600-year process that we went through with making them, we give all that up when we go and breed Now they may say, oh, well, you talking hatred and this, that, and the third. A child is a child and everything. But every time that we make a half original seed and bring it into this world, that we are drawing him back physically, to us. This is where they making the mistake at. What did she say in there? I want you to put your nigga baby in me.
Right.
Because she
Because they
know
don't
that
care.
once
They don't care
she,
about them. They don't care about their
right,
children. Partner to break your wisdom. They don't care about their children. White
right.
people are designed to care about life as they have it because they know there's no real afterlife. So they don't
But
care
see,
about their kids. They'll sell them just to keep power.
and see, the whole thing about it is we know that under, that contract that they made, the Daughters of the American Revolution, 1863, which
Yep.
was the same year that the Emancipation Proclamation was written. Why did the white woman had to come up with the marriage code contract? Because
Mm-hmm.
how the white man was treating them and they offspring. It was just like if they was in North Carolina or whatever, and the gold rush turned up in, the West Coast. They'll tell a woman, look, you got to stay here. I got to go through fighting these Indians to get over there so that I can get the gold so that then I could send for you. But once they got over there, what did they do? They ended up in a saloon with the next white woman and created more babies without them having any obligation to the babies that they had already made. Society want to put it out there like the black man is not about responsibility and taking care of our seeds. That was our nature prior to even coming to the shores of North America. So the white woman had to create a contract. We all know that the marriage code contract is made so that they could get what? Alimony and child support. Now they passed that. They saying that once I have this man's seed, I'm locked into his money for the rest of my life. So
Right.
this is why she was pushing, yo, why don't you put that nigga baby in me? She's young, 20 years old, and the first thing that comes out her mind is, I want to get my body altered. During our time growing up, 60s, 70s, or whatever, if you was bald-headed, you was bald-headed. If you ain't had no titties, no large self, you was done. But look at it nowadays. All of them other women from other ethnical backgrounds that normally wouldn't have been born with that great, a large self, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now they can go and pay for it. They could get it. And everything is based on the cultivation of the woman. Like they stated, right? We born out the womb and then we spend the rest of our life trying to get back in the womb. So they know that the number one commodity that they got is their equator, is their sexual reality of being able to control man through his lust. So now you got a 50-year-old man, and there's nothing wrong with that with younger women, but we the only species on the planet that have sex, for pleasure. A zebra doesn't look at another zebra and say, oh, I'm going to go have sex with this zebra because she got more stripes than the other zebra. Animals procreate when they have sex. Man has been given the ability to rule over the domain of the planet because we got the ability to reason and think. And with that process, you know what I'm saying? We fall victim to these things based upon lust, based upon what a person look like. And how many of these young sisters out here right now, they may not even know how to boil an egg. You know what I'm saying? But they know how to go and make sure that they make their body and their appearance look a certain way because they know that when they look a certain way, that men are going to be gravitated toward them, and through their gravitation toward them, they can cultivate them and hope that they get a seed out of this rich black man that now, on paper, he's going to be responsible for giving her X amount of cash to take care of this seed, at least till that seed is 21, sometimes beyond that. They use that as a tool to keep locking our brothers up with the child support and everything else, because we done strayed so far away from ourselves that now we allow them to dictate our actions through these whole physical things that they place before us, mainly the women.
Nah, that's a fact, God. And you know what I'm gonna say to that too? Hold on one second, Lord. You know what I'm gonna say to that?
Okay, I'm back.
All right. Ever since we was kids, God, you gotta think about it. The first thing we learn from women, right? We learn our first things for women. We learn how women game them the niggas they was with. You know what I'm saying? We seen that. I seen my aunts, my older cousins gaming these dudes, you know what I'm saying? Really gaming them, you know what I'm saying? And then mess with other dudes on the side back in the day.
But Born, you know what Down Elijah Muhammad said? The messenger said, whenever you see a no good woman, just know she's been made no good by a no good man. So they're only following the examples of those that's been in authority over them. Sometimes it hasn't been the black man in the last 487 years. We haven't been in authority over her. So she's adopted the culture of those in authority, just like we did. We adopted that culture too, because like I said, we've been made other than ourselves. That's why that behavior has not been addressed, because they think it's regular, they think it's good, they think it's normal, they think it's natural, because somebody made a new norm, a new nature.
But as I was saying like this, and I understand what you said, I understand what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. I would tell Father Allah spoke on. We spoke on it. We had told the firstborns, he was like, go marry wisdom. And most of the guys would have married the earth, would have got legally married, right? So when you tell him to go marry wisdom, he was like, no, marry wisdom. Marry your wise dome, nigga.
Right.
And they didn't understand what he meant at first. I know you heard that story, Shabu.
Yeah. See the whole thing about it too. We got to come from the whole plantation thing, you know,
right,
where we had to sit in our shack when we knew that the plantation owner, he gonna come knock on the door, he gonna take our woman, he gonna take her wherever he gonna do, and he gonna do whatever to her, and then he gonna send her back. The same way when they set it up, the whole welfare program. I come from the era where my moms and everything else, that when the social worker used to come to the house, you can't have anything that represents a man being in that house. You can't have an ironing board or an iron or anything that represents that is some outside force that's taking care of you other than the government. That's why it became farewell. So even nowadays, who has the most political power within our family structure? The woman.
And it's been like that.
3/4 of the earth is covered by water. So we got way more women than they got men. So now we have been counterized in our minds to think, you know what I'm saying, that we only supposed to have one woman, not understanding that our woman, that if they was brought from the mindset of what it was originally, it ain't about having the sex. If you got 4 women, you know what I'm saying? One woman could stay at home and take care of the children instead of being charged for daycare and them being fed foods and other things that's not right for their mental development. Those other 3 women that's out working along with you, now y'all got a chance to grow economically, because now if you put that money together, one of the sisters, she might be a great cook. So we say, okay, when we get this $250,000, we gonna buy a restaurant and we gonna build from there. The other sister, she may be great at knitting or sewing or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So now, once we got that business off the ground, we could get it going. But now they've been taught to be like the European woman. So within that mindset, they say that, oh, if you got another woman, you know what I'm saying, you cheating and this, that, and the third. So they made sure that we came so far from the concept of building within our universe. We know it's way more women than it is men. So they make it seem like, oh, metonymy, let you have one. That's the way to go. But in all actuality, that is not the universal nature of who we
That's
are.
not natural. And then you got to think about this too, God. You know what I'm saying? You got to think about how black women outnumber black men 10-1 easy, right? In the world. Easy outnumbers 10-1.
You can triple that.
Triple that probably, yeah, probably 30-1, right?
On the planet, so you can triple that for us.
On the planet, yeah. But see, you think about this. If all of us is monogamous with the one woman we have, we won't have knowledge of self to know, understand that. Yeah, what about them other black women that's out there? They're out there messing with homosexuals, white boys, a lot of white boys now, because it was put in their mind that a man should only have one woman. So
and let's not forget mass incarceration. Let's not forget that. You know what I'm saying? So they always doing something to separate us. Where we
genocide, all the gang violence.
Where we go wrong is we forget what's his number one rule and agenda, and that's to divide and conquer. Right. And anytime that these individuals, these young black men that get a chance to receive that gold that he promised us and become rich, they got to take an oath in one form or another not to give back to that same community that they come from. So what do? Once again, they go out, they want the Spanish broad, the Brazilian broad, they want every type of woman other than, like I said, that woman. We know that the black woman is the mother of civilization.
Hold on. I want to show y'all something. I want y'all to see something real quick, right? I want to share something with y'all. Okay. Hold on 1 second. Hold on, self. Just because we talk about that, I want to share something with y'all. Now check this out.
Sure. I wanted to add something real quick to what the God just built. The father taught us in the 60s in the 60s, bro, when the first class under the first 9 born, we were given certain rules and instructions. The father told us to teach the babies, and his whole mission that he completed successfully was bringing the youth, the children, into the fold of the nation, because we can't waste time seeking that which does not exist in those who have already been procured and conditioned to be that way. Our main mission is to teach those that are willing to learn, but first and foremost to teach the babies so they learn the right way without having to be corrected. And that's how we change our what's going on now to the future, because we have to be the sacrifice that will instruct and excite the struggle so that we can succeed later. We won't see the success, but at some point we got to make that sacrifice. And it's the babies that is most important, because that's how you change your future, bro. You got to condition the babies.
Listen, I want to say something. Before I play, I want to say something. Kevin Gates, he was on his live. He just disrespected LeBron James' wife. He called her a bitch and all types of shit. Said she don't really love him like that. You know what I'm saying? I love LeBron. She don't love him. Like, hold up, check this out. I want y'all to see this, man.
Don't get me wrong. I do like Kevin Gates. Okay.
This is my boy right here, man.
Here and there. he's a talented guy in many ways.
This is a celebrity
He's a
jump.
very unique
O'Shea Duke
personality.
Jackson.
The brother is likable, okay? But all of us should just shut our ass up
It's
every
fair
now
use.
and again when we don't know what we're talking about, okay? That's even me included. I'm always saying something that don't make no sense. And as I'm getting older, I'm shutting up a little bit more, okay? So we all make this mistake. It's not just Kevin Gates. And sometimes we just need to mind our business. Okay, just, you all running your mouth, bumping your gums, just shut your ass up sometime, okay? Nobody needs to hear what you got to say. But unfortunately, this isn't the case with Kevin Gates. He said something that was very controversial about LeBron James, and we'll check it out.
This is how the conversation came up. We were just looking at like couples and people in the league. And we was talking about how LeBron do the little handshake with Savannah.
Right.
And then I was like, maybe I noticed, people don't notice. But I'm like, they was like talking about, what if you had LeBron money? I'm like, man, he one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to trade places with him. And they was like, why not? Why you wouldn't want to play? I say, because I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron. Like when soon as he walk out there, they just be like, oh, they be dicked out.
So guys, you have heard that, okay? LeBron James must know Kevin Gates or must know about Kevin Gates. Obviously, I'm pretty sure he does. They may have met before. And Kevin Gates posts this picture. It's funny, right? Because remember, Kevin Gates says she don't smile. And then what did he do? Posted a picture of her smiling at him. You see that? So he says this: kings don't concern themselves with the opinions of peasants. Where to next, queen? Let's get it. Right? So again, Kevin Gates responds with this.
I'm on my way to have coffee. Coffee spelled backwards is Eve. And before we've had our coffee, we don't give Eve about anything. But I just want to say one thing. The truth hurts, but it heals. And Braun, I love you because you my. And I already know she was just, you ain't gonna let him talk, man. You had to, but behind closed doors, you, hey, good game. But anyway, look, long as you being celebrated, I don't care who don't like me. Long as you being celebrated, that's all I care about. Because you my, and I love you. So I don't care if I got to fall out with somebody I love to get the results. We're going to get the results. But if anybody need, I'm a life coach and a guru. Y'all 24 hours.
All right, Joe. That's I want you to hear some of that, but check this out. First thing he fucked up. We call LeBron James' wife a bitch.
But yo, boy, look who he's sitting next to.
The biggest whore in the industry, bruh.
He made the statement, and see, this is where you see the slave mentality. He gonna say, yo, what about all these white women that...
No, he had a black woman. That's a black woman. That's a black woman.
No. I'm talking about his first statement before I even get to that, because it looked like, you know what I'm saying, like she was covered up, like, you know what I'm saying, a Muslim woman.
Yeah.
Okay? So the first statement that he made about him coming out and all these white women oozing over him and everything else. There we go again with the slave mentality. And the reason why I say that is because, of course, they're going to ooze over him, because this is what we started out the show with Shannon Sharpe and these black males, you know what I'm saying, be attracted by these white women that all they coming after them with is for their money. Like, since I've been in the South, see, the slave, his mentality is that let me get that which oppressed me. So you come down here and you see a bunch of brothers with these fat trailer park trash white women because they feel like they accomplishing something in life because now they got a white woman on the side of them. And also you got a lot of brothers that are weak and they can't build for themselves, so they need a woman to take care of them and support them. So now here it is, a world famous black man like LeBron that didn't go against the grain, that went and got him a black woman to make his original children by.
Listen. And a black woman he was with since high school.
Okay.
Before
you know what
I'm saying? James, we was broke.
And you don't hear no scandals about him with outside women. You know what I'm saying? If he whatever he's doing, you know what I'm saying? He doing it right, because at the end of the day, what people don't know can't hurt you. So he shows respect to his black queen and his family. But yeah, you get this individual up here that has been said that he done had sex with his own cousin and all these other different things.
Hold on. Yo, as we speak of that, don't be quiet real quick, guy. I don't mean to say it like that. Be quiet real quick. I'm about to show you, son. Look at.
You also got to recognize, right? When you're amongst the knowing, you also got to be able to judge and discern the person that's saying it. Because sometimes people say things and they don't qualify to be heard by others. So you qualify your source. And saying that, LeBron has been an upstanding. One thing about LeBron, he's been an upstanding family man. And that's the best of men. Can't get around
that. And you know too, black man, the thing that irks me the most, right, is that our brothers that go over, no disrespect to the Sunnah or anything like that, or Islam in that way, but I'm going to keep it raw. You could go in there and learn the Quran and Arabic frontwards and backwards. How many of them is willing to give their daughters to you? They forget that the Arabs, and see, this is the fallacy also. They talk about the Middle East. The Middle East is Africa. They forget that they took over 10 million to 20 million slaves, which 80% of them were our women across them deserts. And only 10% of the population made it. We know nowadays all of the freakish natures of these sultans and everything, because everybody wants to get into the black hole. Like Francine Kressner, when she made the ISIS papers and told us, you know what I'm saying? Everything derives from us. So all of these other men, regardless, I done seen the most redneck police, but if you got a black woman with you that got a body, they ain't no longer thinking about, oh, can I bust him? Can I go into his car and violate his rights and everything else? Because now they stuck on that black woman. And that's why when I used to travel throughout.
Yo, God. Also, I'm going to cut your wisdom. I want you to hear the full thing of what Kevin Gates said. I just found it. I want you to hear the full thing. You tell me how disrespectful this is, because the little thing, when he did the little part they played, what he said, that was even half of it, yo. I want you to decipher this shit. This fake ass Muslim nigga right here.
We're just looking at like couples and people in the league, and we was talking about how LeBron do the little handshake with Savannah, right? And then I was like, maybe I noticed shit that people don't notice. But I'm like, they was like talking about, what if you had LeBron money? I'm like, man, he one of the greatest players to ever play the game.
Right.
But I wouldn't want to trade places with him. And they was like, why not? Why you wouldn't want to play? I say, because I don't like the way Savannah look at LeBron. I like the way them white women look at LeBron. Like when soon as he walk out there, they just be like, oh, they be out. But it's like I noticed when he go do the handshake with the main player on his team, which is that, it's like, you act like I'm bothering you, bitch. Like, I'm the greatest player in the world, one of them. Like top 5, top 10, I'm one of them. And I'm in the playoffs. And you act like the warden of the jail. Like you came here to police me. Like you ain't, like, you not thought like these white women just out about me in here.
All right. What y'all think about the bitch remark? Talk about his wife.
Well, that's the same shit that we do every day. We've been programmed to do. I was just speaking to the youth, bro, about that.
I'm talking about a man's wife that you claim to have so much respect for.
Yeah.
But that word
you don't, because in his brain, he's just talking. In his brain, it's not offensive. That's the point. We've been conditioned to call each other bitches and niggas so long. When you say something to a person, it should be respected. And LeBron is man. You can say whatever you want to say about it, bro. One thing you can't do is say something disrespectful, because he's always upheld himself, regardless of whom or what. And I respect him as a black man even more so than off the court. Fuck playing ball, that's his job. What about what he's done as a man? And we have to start respecting that over everything else and start standing on it. Black man has to stand the fuck up, bro. We gotta stop. We gotta start addressing people the way they address us, because it's like we don't exist. That's why black women look at us like that. For homosexuality run rampant through our community, and we be scared to say something about it, bro. As men, we be like, oh, don't talk about that. Well, they're gonna do this. They ain't gonna do shit. They're not gonna do nothing, bro. They're not gonna do nothing else they haven't already done. And we allow them to influence the lives of our future away. Because the black male won't develop into a man as long as there's no men around him as an example. And so when it comes to the Shannon Sharpes and the Kevin Gates, bro, Shannon Sharpe, he grew up a block away from his dad, across the street from his relatives, and didn't know who they were. So when you look at his direction, his upcoming, and like the brother Shaw just built on, down in the South, the culture, the mental culture of slavery is still prominent physically. So people are still doing stuff like, oh, that beautiful white woman over a black woman. When in reality, you shouldn't be with that white woman, because you know the white woman is a trap to keep you in a certain place. You can never elevate beyond your environment if you're with her. And that's facts. No matter how much she loves you, how good she is.
All of nights. You're right. LeBron James did take a white girl to the prom, but LeBron James Jr. did take a white girl to the prom, but LeBron James Jr. was raised with white people. It wasn't like he like his father. He went like his father.
Raised around the way. He was raised in $1 million environment, bro, from birth. Yeah. You weren't raised around the way. You had access. We just built on that. Master going to give us this. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in the end of Message to the Black Man, the last resort of the white man to keep control over you is that he's going to send this woman after you. Yep. Word up. And that's what has happened. And it's so, it's more prominent now.
Myself. That's why I got a problem with Shabu. All them white girls to be messing with North Carolina. Now, I don't understand that shit, God.
You funny. Yo, God, but check this out, right? Let's take it back to the essence. You know what I'm saying? those of us that know about the history of Sir John Hardy Hawkins Sr., you know what I'm saying?
Sure
That
do.
when they first came in to the shores of Africa on those ships, there was two things that we became weak to. That was the whiskey and the pale white woman. You
Shit.
understand? They are indoctrinated, just like they'll tell you they a virgin because a man never penetrated their vagina, but they'll give head and let you stick it every place else that's possible. So they are already groomed from a very early age to understand their physical power, you know, and we fall victim to that on a daily basis. And what I wanted to say about, you know, it ain't where you from, is where you at. But environment has a lot to do with dictation of a person's mental reality. So what I'm gonna say to all of these country boys that now go and take up so-called Islam, where is your mindset? You're supposed to be a Muslim. So if you're a Muslim, brother, one who submits to the will of Allah, why would you be getting up there and be talking about another black man that chose to have the relationship with someone that is just like his mother, grandmother, and his aunt, and chose to birth seeds into this reality through that origin? And like you said, his son in them, and nobody, no matter what they say, we are products of our environment. If they are raised in gated communities and they are raised being fortunate to have that type of money, who are they raised around? They raised around these same Europeans and Caucasians. So automatically they're going to be attracted to that. And probably since the 4th or 5th grade, he might have been getting his wee-wee sucked on the bus or whatever by these same young Caucasian girls. So we can't put them in the same category that we in, because they're only being exposed and they're only dealing with what they know, what they are accustomed to. So it's quite easy for him to take a white girl to the prom because he's probably in a school where it's only 2 to 3% black people. And the majority of them,
black girls won't take them. Black girls won't go to the prom with him because they have a white boy they want to go to the prom with. See, and that's how it works. That's how they got it set up. Word up. And it's the same thing, God. The laws of Yakub was what? The alike repels and the unalike attracts. And that nature we already knew from our nature, that the alike repels that. What does it repel? It repels that which is unalike. But the unalike attracts that which is alike to make it unalike. So we already know the science. The problem is I wanted to give an excerpt on what you was building on. When we say Muslim, we're talking about the definition of the Arabic word meaning one who submits his will to do the will of Allah or the will of the Supreme Being. So we're born in the nature of that title. But when we're talking about Islam, I have to be honest and blunt and not, inconsiderate of anything. So I preface it with, hey, all respect being. Islam is the culture. It's actually the nature of the black man, the first God. But as a religion, we gave that to the savage, the Caucasian. So when we're talking about Islam, the Islam that we have in this day and time is specifically made for the people in that day and time. And we have a black national activity of Islam. Is why we see it like that. When our people is taking the Sunni and the Shiite and the Kurdish and the Turkite as those sects of Islam that's just like the same as sects of Christianity. So you're using that as an excuse to say you're not Christian and that you're Islamic just to say you're different, but you're functioning as a delusional Christian while using the guise of Islam.
And hold on just 1 second, brother, right? Mu, M-U, means one. Slim means peace. Muslim means one who live in peace. We all understand, right, that when they go according to religion, they got Judaism, Christianity, and then Islam. When Muhammad Abdullah of 1400 met Bilal, who was a black Ethiopian, he was already able to give the call to a dawn. This is our nature. Right. This is our nature. And everybody must be taught the nature of who they are. So this is why when the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you know, and this is all the things that's going on, like you said, Message to the Black Man was the first book that I read in the 7th grade, cover to cover. Not just that book, The Fall of America, you know what I'm saying? How to Eat to Live.
That's what I read at 14.
Right. All these things that they have now made us so far apart. So now you get these individuals, like I said, that go through gang banging, through whatever they may be, and now they jump into it and say, oh, I'm a Muslim, I accept this religion. We know that religion, R-E means to repeat. Legend is a story, myth, or tale. You know? So as long as they can keep the people engulfed to Jesus being the Immaculate Conception, that heaven or hell, you know what I'm saying, is after you die, it determines where you're going to go. Now, all these things are a state of mind. Right. And as long as we don't understand them as being a state of mind and a mindset, this is where we could get idiots like him to sit up there and talk bad about this man and his family. Because we all know nowadays, like I said, we come from that total violence. Nowadays, at my age, the only way you getting me to pick that up and go to war, I don't want war, but like I tell the youngins, I stay prepared for war. But we got to understand who we warring with. We too busy warring with ourselves so we could get an entertainer that could jump up there now and try and humiliate our family, the universe, which is the sun, moon, and stars, the black man, woman, and child.
Check this out. Actual fact. When Stephen A did it, everybody tried to throw it everybody tried to sweep it under the rug. LeBron said, don't judge me as a father, motherfucker. You can judge my game, you can judge my son's game, but don't judge me as a father. You should be ashamed.
Only thing you know about me is that.
Yeah, but I want you to listen to this real quick before I end this. I'm about to end in a minute because I got
only thing you know about is that.
Here we go. Listen to this real quick. I want you to listen to what LeBron says about him and his wife. And
that used to introduce me. This is my wife. Is that, please? I am not your wife, and I deserve that title when the time is right.
Baby, you smart. You very smart.
Savannah has allowed me to basically be as great as I wanted to be with my career and my journey, because she knew I wanted to be the greatest of all time. And Savannah allowed me to do that by basically saying, I got this at the house. Don't worry about it. I got it. That is, she's the greatest.
This how the conversation came up. We were just looking at.
All right. Just to hear that, Savannah said in the beginning, she said, don't judge him and your wife for child deserve that title. You know what I'm saying? Because they wasn't married. He was addressed as his wife when he was younger. She's like, don't dress me with that white title. As the wife try to earn that title. And you know what? Before they got married, he was still like probably in his 3rd or 4th year in the league. For a woman to say that, gotta respect her. She said, I didn't earn the title yet to be called your wife. Shit, you know what I mean? No matter how many kids we got together.
Hey, you know the reality, right? And see, this is what I'm saying nowadays, bro. We going through a real crisis because the young black female is no longer being taught the responsibilities, how to cook, clean, you know what I'm saying? How to take care of their husband, how to act at home and abroad. We know that in our lessons about MGT and GCC. You know what I'm saying? So if they don't have, you know, that around them, they don't see what grandma did, what grandma held the glue to the family, because the woman is the nurturer. We are the creators, but our women are the nurturers. So if they grow up in a household where, you know, their mother or grandmother is telling them, yo, girl, you better go in there and wash them dishes. You know, you better go in there and clean that bathroom. My mother always taught me while I was growing up. She said, look at a female's nails and look at her feet. When you go into a female house, look how her kitchen is and how her bathroom is. They no longer being taught any of these, you know, important tools and knowing right, home economics, how to keep a man and cherish a man. All they taught is, let me get this fake body, let me take as many selfies and everything, and I'm going to attract a man that's going to take care of me. I'm not dealing with the foundation of love. I'm not dealing with grandma who knew that grandpa, after he came home and put that check on the table and told her, knowing that she was going to be responsible to take care of everything. I got a little portion of that. I'm going down to the liquor house. I'm going to have some fun, and I'm going to do my thing, and I'm going to come back on home. Because I know what I got. I got a queen at home that's going to hold me down. Nowadays, it's totally different. You know, you could go out there, bust your ass, work 80 hours out the week, you know, and you might have a chick that's behind your back, which I know for a fact, a brother, I ain't gonna bring up his name, but he was working hard like that. Wasn't a cheater or anything. But now this chick that he's with, she's, you know, mesmerized by some young cat that's out on the street corner selling crack. So now she go and deal with him and violate to the fullest degree by bringing this man into this other man's house that's paying for everything and working hard, and the man never had no criminal history, and rolled in there one day and caught her in there having sex and killed that man and went to prison. And it's a lose-lose situation, because if you're dealing with a woman that got that type of mentality, you're locked up in jail, this dude is dead, and she's still out here to flaunt, have sex, do whatever she wants to do with anybody. So this is why we got so much misconception and misdirection going on in our communities, because once again, we're not dealing with the family as a unit and everybody playing their proper place. And once you tell a woman what's right from wrong, all of a sudden now you want to be controlling. No, it's always going to be knowledge before wisdom. The father is the leader, teacher, and guide of his home circumference. The man is there to protect and to provide for his family. So this is what's going on. And then the rest of the sisters that do have a chance to achieve some economical wealth, even with them, they surrounded by nothing but Caucasian men. So they looking down on the black man that ain't got just as much money as them. But what about all the other things that we have to offer with you achieving economical wealth. You could go and pick a black brother that's consistent from our community and doing the right thing, and y'all could get together and have children and truly build.
All right. On that
Actual
note, guys.
facts, y'all.
On that note, we're gonna end this because I gotta do some little bit shaking and moving. I can't do it on the computer, but show brothers. As soon as I end this vlog, I'm gonna give you a call, man. I'm about to run out real quick. I'm gonna give you a call though.
Yeah, all I want to say, man, is a great show, and salute to my brother, adding on like the way he added on. And this is the sad part, because things like this should be going viral out there. But we know that the powers that be, they don't want that. They want all of the monkeyism and the celebrity gossip and all the other things that they put out there to make us deviate from the real talk that we putting out here on the God's channel. Right. You know what I'm saying? So, salute, and we're gonna keep this going, because that's our job, man, to teach all the human families of the planet Earth.
Yo, we got Cross, salute Cross. We see you in the building, man. Yo, I'm gonna give you a call. As soon as you get off here, man, John, man, let them know what y'all is, man. Let them know what y'all doing, man. Let them know what y'all doing, man. What you got going on, John?
You already know, black man. It's John Kim Muhammad, man, from the mind of John. Just community activist that's been born by God to be God, maintaining my God-like status, God. And it's only my responsibility to make sure every black man, woman, and child, and every member of the human family, to be exact, to understand that our nature as the original has been compromised, and we must regain it so that we can prosper from our God-like ability. Peace to the gods of earth.
Peace, y'all. And this is Shabu Bialar. I got guards in them streets. You know what I'm saying? I've been lacking a little bit, but I'm trying to get everything together so I could be a little bit more consistent out there. And we at war, you know what I'm saying? And the brothers got to remember, man, without the foundation of Farad, Elijah, you know what I'm saying? Our father wouldn't have been able to go in there to get the knowledge, to bring it back out to the youth and the ghettos of hell, man. So we right. We all one, man. We ain't got no time to be, dealing with separation, because we know that separation is the first tool to make a devil, man. So, we gonna continue with our march on changing the conscience and the mentality, you know what I'm saying, of those that oppress us with destruction, man. Peace.
Yo, that's peace. To everybody out there, this is King of New Jersey. This is BTBTV. We bully the bullies. I'm your honorable host, born divine almighty Allah. And like I always tell everybody, we ain't no Bloods or no Crips. We doing our own thing. BTBTV that started his own gang, like nigga, what? And yo, Queens reign supreme. My second home, Queens reign supreme. Jersey in the building, y'all. Shout out. You know how the Mets do. Peace.
Peace.